right, we here now. This is episode 6 of the 10-part series of The Last Dance, the 97-98 Bulls on the road to the second three-peat in 8 years. We're already halfway done. We got 4 episodes left. We're going to jump right into it. MJ's the GOAT. There's no debate to it. We got to see Kobe in episode 5, man. Hey, if you like my content, please subscribe to the channel. Turn on your notifications so you can get something every time I upload. And hey, thanks for watching. Let's jump right into this. So this episode in 6, we're going to get more in touch with MJ and his stardom. So what he starts off with is an interview where he's saying everybody wants to be like Mike, but they only want to be Mike for like one day. He said try to be Mike for 2 days, a week, a month, a year. Most people wouldn't be able to handle it. And the reason he's saying that is because everywhere he goes, he's under a microscope. Wherever he goes, as soon as the game's over, he's mobbed by crowds of people. When he gets to his hotel, crowds of people. MJ was the biggest person on the planet at that time. When it came to stardom of a celebrity, MJ was it. Like, he's everywhere. McDonald's, Gatorade, of course, Nike, his own shoe, Jordan. So everywhere, man. All people seen was him playing basketball, but he's getting bombarded with questions everywhere he goes. And he's just saying, like, it's frustrating. I really don't get a break to live my life and be who I am. Outside of basketball, I want to relax and do things on my own, but I can't because I'm always in the public's eye, man. It's ridiculous. So we all know that Jordan was a big gambler, but Jordan had the money. So everything he did, he would always be in competition with somebody. So with the security guards, he would bet them $20 who could throw a quarter the closest to the wall without hitting the wall. So you pretty much just throw it in the corner and you just want to see who can get the closest. And MJ would say they'll get as many tries as they want, but when it gets to his turn, he only get like 2 or 3 tries, and then they'll beat him. And then he's like, man, let me get the same amount of tries as you. But even little games like that, Jordan was betting on. They were doing $20 just to toss a quarter, and you know what I'm saying, to the corner. But that's MJ. He's competitive, and his thing was he didn't matter what it was. Tic-tac-toe, cards, basketball, of course. Even throwing the quarter, he wants to win. That's what he wants to do. He's a winner. That's all we can say about MJ. He's a winner. We know it. We've seen it. And we're watching him play quarter corner in the... So we get a glimpse of what happens in the locker room after a game. So along with MJ being swamped by everybody, he'll only have like 10 minutes to cool down. He had to take a shower, put on his suit, and go do interviews. So they actually caught him in the back. And you see MJ, Ron Harper, Pippen, they're all drinking beers after the game. MJ's like, man, it was a long day. I should be drinking Gatorade, but after all that, I need a beer. And then he started talking about when he first came to the league, dudes were drinking beer at halftime. That just shows you, like, he was playing with pure alcoholics when he first got in the league, and he was really trying to carry drunks to the playoffs and try to win something. But even Scottie's like, man, in the fourth quarter, that's all we think about is the game being over and grabbing a cold beer and just chilling after the game, man. Seems like the good life. And you already know, once you start reaching a level of success, people are always going to try to find some dirt on you. So the crazy thing about MJ is when he went to go play New York was the new team that was on the rise that became the rival. It was the Pistons. They got past the Pistons. Now the Knicks are who the Bulls are rivaling. We all know that Pat Ewing was on that team, John Starks. So the dirt that they were trying to dig up is, like I said earlier, we seen MJ gambling. That was just his thing, but there's nothing wrong with gambling. But people try to flip it and make things seem negative that aren't negative. They always want to find something negative out of even a positive. So it's crazy that MJ's pastime was a negative. So while they're finding that negative, there was a book that was put out that was called The Jordan Rules. And pretty much what it was doing was highlighting all the negative things that were going on behind the scenes in the Bulls organization. So Jerry Krause, the evil GM, called Phil Jackson and was like, sit here, I'm going to read you a couple of quotations in here, a couple of passages, and I want you to answer these for me. So it's pretty much saying the Bulls, we're doing this behind the locker room, we're doing this, there's friction here. It feels like I didn't do this, so somebody's releasing information on what's going on in the Bulls. MJ goes on to say that it was Horace Grant releasing everything. And the reason for that is because Horace Grant helped them win them first titles. The whole spotlight was on Jordan, and then the next was on Pippen. And then Horace Grant fell in there somewhere, you know what I'm saying? Third, fourth, however you want to number it. But they were saying he was jealous of all that. That's another reason he left and went to the Magic in 94. But he says that he would never say anything like that. Phil Jackson said it wasn't him. MJ said it was Horace. But we won't know to this day who was actually releasing that information out. So it was just giving a bad light on the Bulls in a time that they were winning. So you don't want that negative pub, especially from the inside the organization, not when you're on top of the game. So now they're leading us into the actual playoff game against the Knicks. So at this point, Jordan has his 2 rings. So this is the 93 season. And he's trying to separate himself. Isaiah Thomas won 2 rings. Magic won 2 rings. All of these players, they won back-to-back. But none of them has won 3 straight. No one has three-peated. And if you three-peated at that time, even now, if you three-peat, that's going to put you on Mount Rushmore automatically. So that's what Jordan was facing going in to try to get his 3rd ring the first time. He had to go against this young, tough. They weren't really young, but they were, you know what I'm saying, they were still a new team. It's, when I say young, I'm saying like put together, they're young. They haven't been playing that long together. But you're putting together this young, fresh, new guys together, and they're running. They're aggressive. They're dominant. This is the face that they got to play in the East. And they came with some toughness. 93, the Eastern Conference Finals. Bulls versus Knicks. Oh my goodness, is going down. I'm talking, whenever they matched up, it was a physical game. They had Patrick Ewing on here. He said it was a rivalry. They really hated each other. And if you think it was a foul, it wasn't a foul unless blood was drawn. Every 5 seconds you look up, someone was pushing somebody. John Starks and Jordan going at it. Pippen and Ewing going at it. Then not Barkley. I'm thinking further ahead in the year. But they going at it. It's the rivalry's big. Charles Oakley's up there. You know, he used to be MJ's enforcer. Like, man, it's crazy. Like, this game, the Knicks really replaced the Pistons. So they're the tough team in the East to beat now. Like, and the Bulls got to go through them to get to their 3rd championship. So once again, the bad stuff about Jordan pops up. So the Knicks, they came in and they won that game. They won the first game, and it's, oh man, what are we going to do? So what MJ does to clear his mind, because he can ball. We know he can ball, but what he does to clear his mind like anyone else, they find something that they enjoy. So him and his father, they drove down to Atlantic City just to get out of New York. You know, you're up there, you hear Knicks, you look out your window, you see Knicks stuff. They just went to Atlantic City and they gambled. Now, there's reports that people seen Jordan in the lobby at as late as 2:30 in the morning. Now, Jordan said he was back in New York in his hotel room around 12:31. So we don't know what the truth is, unless they were to go back and get the camera footage, which I highly doubt they would. But what they're saying is Jordan was so caught up in gambling, that's why they lost to the Knicks. And Jordan's like, no, I just went there to clear my mind. You're not going to win every single game, even though you try to. It's just some days someone's going to outplay you. So that was where all the gambling really started looking bad for MJ. The loss, and then him being seen at a casino that weekend. Like, come on now. So after this little scandal came out, MJ, they go on, they end up beating the Knicks. We know that happened, but it just kept getting bigger and bigger. So all of this came out. MJ's gambling. Someone writes a book. He used to be the general manager of a San Diego athletic club. He says that MJ owes him $1.2 million from gambling off of playing golf. I mean, we know Jordan has the money. Now, I don't know why he was in debt $1.2 million. How can you let it get up that high? But this is MJ we're talking about. At this time, he's bringing in millions. So it's not like you and I where we might gamble. Oh, let's play a game, maybe $20 a hole, where they're playing like, man, look like $100,000 a hole or something to get 1.2 behind. But MJ has the money for it. So during this interview, this is one of his last interviews before he went dark. So when he went dark, that meant he just stopped talking to the media. So in this interview, they asked him, does he have a gambling problem? And he says, no, I don't have a gambling problem. I can stop gambling whenever I want to. What I do have is a competitive problem. Like, I must compete in everything I do. Which makes sense. Like, if you know you don't have a problem, then I can stop gambling. I just gamble because I do. You got that much money, huh? What am I doing? Oh, let's play something. Okay, I'll bet some money on it. But what MJ also said was, I'm not breaking the law here. Gambling isn't against the law, so why is anyone making a big deal about this? If I did owe somebody some money, then I owe somebody some money. It's no different than me owing my friend some money or somebody else some money. Like, it's just between me and them. It's not like I'm doing illegal bets on games or anything. But that's what got brought up. They started bringing in stories of maybe he's skimming games, maybe he's shaving points. Like, MJ wasn't doing none of that. He was just gambling in his free time with his money. After defeating the Knicks in the 93 Eastern Conference Finals, the Bulls prepared for their third consecutive NBA Finals appearance. And who are they going against? The Phoenix Suns, led by one Sir Charles, the Round Mound, Barkley, who won the MVP of the season. 62-20. They had the number one record in the NBA that season too. So right before the 93 finals, MJ went ahead and broke his silence and he asked Ahmad Rashad, hey, I want to do an interview and talk about this gambling and get it off my chest. So what MJ pretty much did was just kill all the noise to everybody. Gambling is my hobby. It's not illegal. If gambling was a problem for me, I would be starving. I wouldn't have any money. My family would be starving. My kids would be starving. I'd be pawning my championship ring. I'd pawn my Range Rover. If gambling was that much of a problem for me, then I'd be going broke. I wouldn't have any money. I wouldn't be doing anything. I'd be trying to gamble more. I'd lose everything. But since I haven't lost everything, that's showing that gambling isn't a problem to me. I just like to gamble in my free time. So just leave that alone and let's just keep it moving. Let's go basketball. You know what I'm saying? I got the finals to play. I've been winning championships. That's what I'm about. I'm about winning. So let's leave all that gambling stuff alone. That's what I do in my free time. And just worry about basketball. And MJ had the glasses on. And Ahmad Rashad was like, man, I wish we would have took those glasses off during the interview. But this is MJ. You're not going to be like, hey, can you take those shades off? MJ, I'm like, nah, get out of here. Let's do the interview. So the Phoenix Suns having the best record in the NBA and Charles Barkley being the MVP, Jordan kind of had a little grudge about that. He said he got snubbed on the MVP of the season. So he said since they gave Barkley that, he can go ahead and have the regular season MVP. I'm going to get this finals MVP. And straight out the gate, first two games, Jordan comes out and they go up 2-0. The first game he had 31 points. The second game, 42 points. Jordan is balling. And as we can see here, Dan Marley is holding him. And the thing about Dan Marley that MJ didn't dislike Dan Marley. He always gave credit. He said he's a good defender, but Jerry Krause was saying that, oh, Dan Marley's an excellent defender. So that right there, he wanted to show Jerry, just like he did with Kukoc and just like everybody else, that the guys you like aren't who you think they are. So he just started exposing Marley. Like, he's going in on him. And of course, Marley couldn't hold him. There was barely anyone that could hold MJ at this point in his career. But he was just exposing him, showing, hey, man, I can score at will. Plus, he had that grudge about not getting the season MVP. Jordan really wanted this thing. So they were up 2-0. But we know Charles Barkley ain't going out without a fight. So he wins game 3. Game 4 comes. And now it's like, okay, cool. The Bulls get it. They go up 3-1. Now they're back in Chicago. Charles Barkley has a phenomenal night. He's going off. He's doing everything he can because it's an elimination game. They gotta win, or they gotta go home. They end up winning, and we all know how Charles Barkley is. We see him on TNT. He just whatever comes to his mind, it comes to his mind. So they asked him, "Hey Charles, how do you feel about everyone? You know, what I'm saying, with all the Chicago Bulls stuff on their windows and stuff?" He said, "Hey, take that down. You ain't gonna need that tonight." Like, hey, he said, "Hey, look. Y'all may have thought y'all was gonna beat it, but we weren't gonna go out like that. We weren't going to we weren't gonna go lose 4-1. So they won that one. They had to take it back to to Phoenix. The crazy thing about that is MJ told the team, he got on the plane and said, "Hey, I'm only bringing one suit." Phil said he had a cigar. He got on the plane and said, "I only got one suit. I'm not going out there for 2 games. We're gonna win this one game and we're gonna come back." Like MJ, he already had it in his mind. We're not playing more than one game. We're going to go out there. We're going to beat him in game 6. And that's it. The Bulls go on to win game 6. And Charles Barkley even talks about it. he doesn't like losing, but when you lose to MJ at that time, that's not a bad thing. If you lose to MJ, you lose to the greatest player to ever play the game. So you got to just look at it like, man, I got outplayed. And Barkley even talks about he gets outplayed. That game, that closeout game, Barkley had 21 points, 17 rebounds. 21.17 rebounds. MJ had 33 and I think like 8 and 7. 8 rebounds, 7 assists or something like that. But he said he just got outplayed, man. But I mean, Charles, at that time you were undersized, and like you said, MJ is the GOAT. Y'all pretty much the same size, but he playing the guard, you playing the big. The Bulls go on to win their 3rd consecutive championship, their first three-peat. This is pretty much etched in stone now. MJ the GOAT. Hey, man, Barkley never made it back to those finals either, but hey, he carried his team though. And in the episode, I'll be fast forward back to 97, 98, and the question still looms: is this MJ's last season? Is the GOAT really leaving? Do you think the GOAT's leaving? Do you think the GOAT's leaving? Do you think the GOAT's leaving? That was the question of 97, 98. All right, there we go. Episode 6 of the 10-part series. Comment below, what do you think about Charles Barkley and the Knicks? Do you think that Jordan really went up against legends? Like, was his playoff route harder than what we see nowadays? Because if you think about it, he had to go against Hall of Famer Patrick Ewing, Hall of Famer Charles Barkley, like back-to-back games. Comment below what you think. But hey, I'm Mo. Thank you for watching. Hey, if you like my content, please, I deeply appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification. Hey, share, comment, like, subscribe, tell your friends about it. I do reactions to all kinds of shows. Thank you for watching, and like always, follow me on my social media. It's MoedotJ on everything, and thank you for watching. We'll be here next week for episode 7 and 8.
Jimmy on the beat, boy.